Good morning, Limerick.
Hey, good morning, Aruna.
Just a few minutes before I entered this room, I had Mary asking me, so what do you think of Limerick? And before I answered that question, we had to enter the room. Okay? Couple of days when we started living in Limerick and we were walking in the morning at 6:30, we had, it's really nice when you see some people, they greet you, talk to you. I had this gentleman coming over and say, "Hey, IBM." And the two of us were looking surprised, saying, "Wow." And then the person says, "Remember me? I am Tony from St. Munchin's. You need to come and get your hair done." It was fabulous for us. And that shows friendship. That's what I learned in Limerick. Okay? And the second point, a lot of learning. I want to say thanks to a couple of people who are sitting here. Linda from St. Munchin's, Tracy from Tate House. We went and visited the Capamore Center, so we have Noel here. And we went to the retirement home, which is, Angela, who's come here. We visited several more people. I met a lot of old people. We interviewed them, Patty, Mary, Oliver, Sarah, Peg, Una. Many of them are here, okay? And what did we learn from them? That's an example of what we're going to talk about Annie, okay? While I take you through this. It was a lot of learning, and what I'm going to take back and my team takes back is experience, which we have never had before with 3 weeks of learning. 3 weeks ago when I walked into this room, I met you for the first time and I've had made several friends here. That's what we take back. So, how did we arrive at Annie? Okay? We spoke to several people. We spoke to several senior citizens who are here today. And one of the big observations the team had was that what will be a normal day for an 83-year-old Annie, who is a wise person, who lives in her own home, she's very independent, and how does she run her day, right? This is the observations we had. Annie gets up in the morning and she has a 10 o'clock appointment at the hospital. So, can Annie have a booklet which says what time does the bus come? Ideal. What time does the connecting bus? We are talking about Capamore. She's coming from the county, from a village, right? So she needs to get to the hospital. She checks her bus schedule and it's been handed over to her. And we heard several people in the room, senior citizens, say, "I don't want to be called old. I don't want it to be called a daycare center. So can we call it wise and well centers?" People love it because people who are there are wise and they are well and they're able to manage their lives on their own. And, is there a rural bus aligned, but it's the ideal situation. I hear it's very difficult. But can there be aligned schedules? Okay, can that happen? And then moving over, Annie walks from her home to the bus stop. And can she get a bus shelter where there is a place to sit? Because it rains in Ireland all the time, right? So it rained when we were there, so we had to wear our hoodies. But for an old person, it becomes very, very important to have bus shelters. And we heard that there are not many bus shelters with seats or covers, okay? And she sits in the bus shelter and waits for the bus, and the bus comes on time. I know that's a challenge too. So, and the other thing we heard was that can the bus, steps lower down to pick me up? Can the driver help me? Can the driver wait for me to sit in my seat before he takes off? These are the things we heard. Can that be very ideal? And then the bus drops her to the bus stop. And she goes to the hospital. I know she has to wait a couple of hours, but ideal would be that she reaches there on time. She finishes her appointment. She comes back to the bus shelter in front of the hospital, city hospital. Can she have a seat to sit there? She loves sitting there to wait for the bus. And again, the bus comes on time, but this time she wants to go to the Wise and Well Center in Capamore. to get a hot meal, and then they drop her back. And Annie is a happy, wise person. This is an ideal scenario. I know it's not going to be very easy, but this is what is expected. Okay? Thank you.